David gets to a battlefield one day as a young man, taking his lunch, minding his own business. A few months before he was anointed king, when he was minding his own business in the field, given a promise by God that you're going to be the future king of Israel. And now he finds himself facing a giant he defeats. You'd think from that moment on, David, the next step would be kingship. He'd be on his path. God promised him. He beat a giant. Of course, it's all done. But, well, nothing could be further from the truth. He goes on, and when he goes on for 13 more years being pursued by a king he once served. He was once his bodyguard, played harp for him, did nothing wrong with him, became close friends with his son, and he's pursued. He's pursued. 13 years before his first promise is fulfilled. Another 3 years before he becomes the total king of both Israel and Judah. Joseph has a dream. Shares his dream with his brothers, given the coat of many colors. Things are going great. Suddenly, you're in a hole. Suddenly, you're sold in slavery. Suddenly, you're accused of being adultery, of doing things to your boss's wife or master's wife. Next minute, you're in jail, forgotten, yet you have this dream, this promise. That's part of a wider promise given to your grandfather, great-grandfather. Then one day you become second judge of Egypt. This leads you on your family to become a nation. One day they leave. They go to a promised land. You see, the promises of God are bigger than you and me. We're going to face giants and victories, and they're based on our own courage and skill and the assistance of God and faith, and we need to overcome things. Jesus said you overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. He says you overcome because I overcome. Believe in me. You see, Jesus has given us promises. He promised us his peace. Jesus has given us promises that he will fulfill. He says he will return. So I encourage you today. There is a difference between defeating giants and the promises of God. The promises of God, well, they've got to be lived out every day in patience, in adhering to seeking first his kingdom. And along the way, you'll face victories, or you can be like a David who faced the giants again later on, relatives of Goliath, and this time he needed others to help him because he didn't have the divine strength to do it by himself. So let me encourage you. God's not into just methods of killing giants. He's into fulfilling promises, and promises that you are part of. God wants you and I to trust him, that what is ours will be ours, but maybe I'm just living someone else's promise today.